Just do this. My wife thinks I'm a weirdo. Hello everybody and welcome back to another beautiful day. The sun is shining, it is -3 outside. If every winter's day was like this, I'd be a very happy boy. I love this kind of weather when it's cold and it's dry and it's just like everywhere's, look at the yard again, lovely, there's a bit of wind, it's just crisp, it's beautiful. We're going to take advantage of that weather and we're going to go and do a bit of hedge cutting to start off with. I do need to grease this up, however. Dad's just gone off in the Corvus to Mr. Catley's because the battery has gone on the 3200. So he's going to go and get a new battery for that. I'm going to pull this out, we're going to grease it up, and then we're going to go and get something done. I tell you what, I know that the trend amongst people is to have one of those electric grease guns that runs on one of those drill batteries, but you can't beat a proper grease gun. I'm not a big fan of them electric ones at all. I think they're hundreds of pounds to start off with. I mean, how lazy do you want to be? Come on guys, squeeze it, just do this. Just get an old fashioned one. I don't like the pump ones with the big handles though. I'd like the hand grippy ones. Those ones are pretty good. You can make them more pressure or less pressure. I do like those ones. They're a lot better. But yeah, the whole fashion on the electric ones. I mean, let's think about it. Every time you go to a grease gun, it's empty. That was a rare occasion because I didn't have to fill that up. But imagine going to a grease gun and every time it's empty and then it runs out of battery. Oh my God. That would drive me mad. I tell you what, it's a good job I'm not one of them YouTubers that does a video every day because you would be incredibly bored this week. I'm going to be sat on here for a very long time, I think. Normally, I'd get loads of hedge cutting done in the summer and then just kind of round it all up in the winter when we get some frost. But this year with it being wet, that didn't happen. And then obviously having a baby and everything else, it just kind of got left. And it's been wet for so long. And then it gives rain next week, which means that we've got this week to get the hedges cut, so I'm gonna have to really crack on. And that's a good point. My wife thinks I'm a weirdo. It's not just for this reason, but I say it gives rain next week. She's like, what do you mean it gives rain? Who gives rain? And I'll say, the weather. And she's like, you mean it's forecast rain? Does anyone else just say like, it gives rain next week? I don't think that's a weird thing to say. I think that makes complete sense. She thinks it makes no sense at all. I'd like some support in the comments. How do you say it? Do you say it gives rain? Dad and I have had a bit of a chat and we've decided that we're going to come around all our grass fields and cut behind all these electric fences. We've got an electric fence that runs around every grass field at home. I'm not sure that we're going to get a chance to get all the hedges cut because it's forecast it's rain next week. Gives rain. It gives rain next week. If we don't get more dry weather like we've got now, I just can't see that we're going to get round everything. So we've decided we're going to go round, cut all the electric fences out, and then come back and cut the rest of the hedge if we get chance, because I can always cut them in the summer if I have to. It's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to go round all of these grass fields now and cut out the electric fence so that kicks well. But I can't believe how much grass we've got. All this grass last week was underwater, and if you look over here, oh, someone else going hedge cutting. If you look over here, you can see like where the grass has gone flat because it was underwater in this gateway, and behind the tractor over there, there's way more grass over there than what there is here. If sheep farmers will be getting right on right now, because they'll see all this grass, but you ain't coming and having it. We didn't get around to grazing this because it got too wet, so we never got this last graze on it, but it's just really getting me excited for turnout, which still a fair way off, but doesn't mean I can't get excited. Here's a question for you. I was just cutting along by the watercourse where we've got a 5 metre riparian strip margin we had in for our mid-tier stewardship, which we've now finished. We're not in mid-tier anymore. But I was thinking about the SFI, and I've read so many conflicting things about people's thoughts on SFI. I personally think that as a lowland grass farmer, it's quite good for us. I think there's loads of options on there for us that we can do quite well at, and there's no constraints around it like there was in mid-tier. But then I see other people getting their backs up about it and are really not happy about SFI, mainly sort of arable farmers. I'm not sure what it's like for the moorland, upland type farmers, but if you are thinking of doing SFI or you have an opinion on SFI, let me know what you think about it, because I just find it fascinating how some people think things are great and some people think things are bad. One thing I will say about SFI, I think it's a bit like pubs and post offices, in the fact that if you don't use that resource that's been allocated by the government, we will lose it. But yeah, I'd just be interested in see what people think, because I think with the herbal lays of £420 a hectare now, and then there's the grass legume lays, which are what are they, like £112 a hectare or something like that. I think there's quite a lot of options there that are good for lowland farmers. Yeah, let me know what you think. Tyre saga continues. I don't know what it is, but it's still going down. We've done that plug, and I don't know if the plug's still leaking a little bit or not. It doesn't seem to be too bad, but it's still going down. Dad's got us a tube, so him and Finley are gonna have that off. It's gonna be interesting. Finley did a tyre the other week. You might remember he did one, I think it was on the straw shredder, and now he's gonna have to do one on that, and that's gonna be a different ball game.
What happened there? Keep it square on there. Keep it pushed back to that wheel. You'll stand this side.
Because then you're pushing, and then pushing that way, you see.
Then you're pushing that. That's it. Now push down.
So it keeps it straight.
Go on, keep going.
All the way. All the way.
All the way. That's it.
You want to tight? That's cow muck. That's my air tight. Oh, you bugger, that's tight. I'm not going to edge cut. The reason why I'm not edge cutting is because Dad's using my tractor to get the 125 started, because he's tried it with other things and you can't get close enough with a forklift to get the jump leads on the terminals on the side. It's a bloody nightmare. Hopefully it's been sat here long enough now and he'll run and I can crack on. If you're wondering why Dad needs a tractor too, he wants to use it to push that wheel off. You might remember when we did the wheel the other week, we pushed it off with a fork truck, but obviously we can't push the fork truck wheel off with a fork truck because we're using the fork truck. So he's going to use a loader on the tractor. I'm going to leave them to it now, but it'll be, I wish I was here to film it. I love doing tyres as well. I find it quite interesting. It's always hard work, but it's always interesting. Barley, come on, we're going to put you in here and we're going to go and get something else done. And then we'll see how they get on in a bit. Right, I'm back in the yard. I've had to go and help them because they were putting the tyre on and they'd done it, put the tube in, everything, got it all up, blew it up, and it was leaking. So they had to call in the professionals to come and give them a hand. So we've just actually fixed it. I don't quite know how it's happened, but they'd pinched the tube. I don't know if they'd pinched the tube or if the tube had already got a hole in it, because I think it was a tube we'd already got. I'm not pointing any fingers, but the last tyre they did was on this straw shredder here, and the exact same thing happened. So I'm not saying anything, but you can draw your own conclusions. Anyway, I've just decided to park the hedge cutter up. There's no point in me going back now tonight, so I'm going to go feed these cows some silage and we'll get all tidied up for the evening. Right, and that's me for another week. Hopefully next week we'll have less punctures, but I think it's supposed to rain, which is bleh. Might get on some cow work though. We've got loads of weighing and stuff to do, so maybe we'll get a bit of that done, something a bit different. Anyway, whatever you get up to this weekend, look after yourselves. Stay warm, stay dry. I think it's going to get windy. Stay safe. See you in a bit. Ta-da!